Welcome back to All of Fabric 5. Do you ever think to yourself, oh boy, I wish I had some more stuff? The stuff that I have, well, it's not enough. No? Well, I do. At least in Minecraft. In real life, I'm pretty frugal and I don't spend too much. But if it's digital, like the only space it's going to take up is space on the hard drive, well then I want all of it. I want all of it, I don't want any limitations. So today what we're going to work on is getting more stuff, specifically the kind of stuff that drops from mobs. We're going to play around with a variety of the ways to spawn in mobs in this pack. The Conjuring mod being one of those ways, and it gives you a pretty clear warning that at the beginning you need to start off with a healthy supply of netherite scraps, which is why we're down here digging our tunnels. And by the end of the episode, hopefully we'll have a nice, very active and passive mob farm working for us. But before we head back to the surface, it came to my attention that I never actually explained what happened with the missing, or the better described, disappearing, the case of the disappearing all-in-one tools. And then of course I also lost one of these steam mining drills, which was a real loss to us all, me specifically. But I know how empathetic you guys are, and I'm sure you share my pain. So what was happening, just like how you see here, just like how you see in this dank, I've put all our books here and our records. And now when you put it into construction mode, you can like cycle through your different books, open them up, and use them just like a tool. Well, I was doing something similar with the chisel mod. I would store it in my dank and put it in construction mode and then use it to open up the chisel menu. And every time you came out of the chisel menu, which is like this, right? You'd put a block in there. Ancient debris is not a good idea. Put a block in there and you can change it to different patterns. It doesn't actually change the block, you can always change it back. But then whenever you exited this menu, whatever's in your first slot would just disappear. It doesn't seem to be a problem when you just use the chisel mod like normal, but putting it into a dank and using it, not recommended. The moon looks a bit jank, but doesn't the sky look beautiful? My face. Doesn't my face also look beautiful? So we managed to find another 4 pieces. So the quickest way, at least that I've found, to get your hands on ancient debris at this point of the game is to, just head on down to, was that Y14 in the nether, and just do strip mining like I was doing with the emerald hammer. And the emeralds we're just getting from completing these quests, although that one hardly seems worth it, and doing trades with those goblin traders that we see around the place. Those guys will take anything off you. I got rid of about 4,000 cobblestone and a couple thousand netherrack as well. So here's a quick look at the setup that we did last episode. Okay, this guy is working. I cranked this up a little bit so that we can have more breeding happening, but I bet you I've probably reset these settings just by opening it again. Oh, maybe that issue is no longer a thing. Honestly baffled. Anyway, now there was one serious problem with this setup, and it's more related to the top, so I'll go up to the surface. Up here we had the 4 crops we wanted to grow, the mustards, wheat, pepper, and the lonely old onion seed. So this area here was kind of reserved for onion seeds, but when we ran out of onion seeds, when this machine ran out, it just started using other seeds and that took up the spots. So our production of onion has like ground to a halt. I'm pretty sure there's a way I can... Cow steps. No thanks. And yeah, I'm not sure exactly why it happens. I mean, we can see they're all Croptopia, but it seems that onion seeds aren't dropped as much. So we got 32 each of these base crops. I just took the rest out. The next time a crop is harvested, you'll see that it kind of prioritizes replenishing its own stock first before putting the other stuff into output. So we see there, now we've got 33 wheat seeds. Got a lot that time. So these guys over here are going to keep on increasing, and only when they reach the cap, when they reach 64, will the remainder of the seeds get spat out into the output slot. But that didn't seem to be the case with onions. You see, we've got quite a healthy supply of these things now, and the seeds obviously backing up. The onion was on 1 still down here. I know it says 132, but that's from me playing around with it. I actually had more like 150 onions. So I think what happens is it just has such a small chance of producing onion seeds. So I think you kind of need to recycle. So we just need to find out some way to automate converting at least some of the onions that come out of the farmer back into seeds and then inputting it back into the farming unit there. Now, I don't think we have a lot in the way of auto crafters in this pack. We have the iron and gold auto crafting tables, which, I made one here because it's pretty cheap and it works. So you get a recipe, you put your inputs there. You'll see it does a cute little craft. I love the animation on that. And then it gives you your output. Using this would kind of be a crazy solution because this guy here would just back up with onions and the output would be humongous as well. Like, I feel like this would just add a buffer of 9 times 64 onions and 9 times 64 seeds before these guys start filling up. Like, it seems like a pretty inefficient way to get things going. So I thought alternatively, we could have a look at this guy, the auto crafting table from Tech Reborn. And I'm hoping that we can just connect that to the output here of our farmer, send half the onion one way into the crafting block and the other half of the onions back into storage, and then cycle back into the farmer all the onion seeds it needs. So, so this actually entails that we need to kind of dig in a little bit further into the Tech Reborn tree, the Tech Reborn tech tree, in order to get our hands on copper cables and rubber. Copper cables, super easy. But rubber, you need sap, which you then smelt. Oh, you can even get an electric one. So let's get ourselves a tree tap. This is rubber tree here, isn't it? Yeah. Can we just... Oh, you literally just collected off trees. Yoink. I'll be taking that. Okay, I think this tree's all tapped out. So there is that way to do things. You just click on it with a tree tap there. But I think I might prefer to set up one of these extractors here. Even to get an extractor set up, we would need to have access to more rubber. So it looks like the only solution is to plant a couple of rubber trees. So I think to get things started with Tech Reborn, we just need to grow up a bunch of rubber trees, collect all the sap that we can see, and then we'll try and find out some way to get it automated. So it seems like the only way we can get rubber in the first stages of the game is to just cook up some sap. And then we can get the extractor and get that going automated from the logs, from the rubber logs. Can we just put the extractor next to it? Yep, that'll siphon power off. I guess the only question is whether or not this burns fuel off, even if it's not being used. It doesn't look like it, which is good. And then we just get rubber logs. That is loud. I think I'll muffle that one as well. Okay, we're just going to muffle all Tech Reborn. That's just way too loud. And there we have our renewable source of rubber now. So where were we? We're still trying to sort out this onion problem, and then we're going to get started on our mob farm. I swear. We'll have enough time. So we want an auto crafting station. For that, we want 4 of these. Four of them. What am I missing? Redstone. Sometimes having chest monsters everywhere is helpful. I tend to leave stuff everywhere. I know we've got a bunch of redstone. There it is. And there's our 4th one of them. And then we can make our little auto crafting table. So if we put the auto crafting table alongside the farmer, set the recipe, lock it, and then auto pull in this guy from the left side. We'll give it some power. For now on, this is just a test, a proof of concept. And then if I plant these guys again, God, that noise confused me. So that's crafting onion seeds. And then if you auto this guy, if you auto output to the left and also set the right side to be input and output. You're struggling to get rid of your seeds, huh? Okay, auto output worked for that guy. Let's see if we can't speed the process along a little bit. Now, the next time it harvests an onion, it should, I suspect it will send it to the auto crafting table to produce seeds, but I won't be able to output the seeds back. So then I'm hoping the output gets taken down through the pipes. Okay, and while we wait for this virtuous cycle here to complete, we can probably start talking about this mob farm. Now, the way I see it, there's 3 ways in which we can do it. We can use the vanilla spawners that we've been collecting. You can see here I went and captured that creeper one that we found a while ago. The zombie villager one I put all the way over there because it was spawning in zombie villages even though the area was well lit up. So I'm guessing that spawner operates under different rules or something. But anyway, we could use these guys. And there are spawners for things like wither skeletons. You can find those spawners in graveyards. So we could set them up and then make ourselves kind of like a really efficient, high functioning kind of vanilla mob farm. And like, that'd be fun. You know, I've got nothing against that. But it has a couple of downsides. The primary one being that it's not active unless you're within 16 blocks of it. For testing purposes, we'll just put that spawner there and we'll count how many blocks away we are until it stops spinning. So 14, 15, and then you see there, it stops spinning. And if you come in just a little bit closer, it'll start up again. And if you're outside of the 16 block radius, they're just not going to spawn. And you saw that's reasonably close. I mean, we'd have to put the spawners like above us or just below us here in the base. And that's not ideal. And we'll try that out later. We'll set up, perhaps for the creepers, we'll set up a little farm. Our second option is to go through Conjuring here. So Conjuring is essentially mob spawners that you create, but you're able to buff them up. You can put things in there to make them work faster, so this decreases the cycle time. You can have more of a mob in the same area before it kind of stops spawning more. More spawns per cycle. And I think the last one here, the increase in the Conjurer's player awareness, is that 16 block limit is kind of increased. So you can move further and further away and the mob spawner will still be on. That's handy. And there's also this thing, a stabilized conjuring focus. So when you get kind of, I guess this is probably more end game. It's quite expensive. 4 soul slices. That's 4 nether stars. Oh no, 2. That's 2 nether stars to create this stabilized conjuring focus. But this one acts as if the player was in the area. So even though you're quite far away, the mob spawner acts as if you're nearby, i.e. the mob farm will keep on going. So that's pretty cool. And then the third and final thing, our third and final option, is through making cursed dirt. Now, cursed dirt is pretty cool. Basically, it just rapidly increases the spawn rate of things on it, like to astronomical levels. So I really want to try this one out too. And if in the center of the house, we put a 128 block kind of ring around us, this is the distance at which mobs can spawn when we're inside the house. So we could plant cursed dirt, all the way over there, and mobs would still spawn and our farm would be active. Let's just turn off this funny looking sphere. Now, for the remainder of today's episode, we're going to try all 3 of these methods and see which one we like the most. Just putting that sphere on again for a second, you can see that these areas here are open, so maybe we could carve this out a little bit. And just for testing purposes, we can use this cliff here as a kind of workstation for our farms. All right, let's start off with an easy one, like the vanilla spawner here. So we know from vanilla Minecraft that mobs can spawn from a spawner in a 9x9 horizontal area or a 3 high area. So a mob could spawn it on any of these levels. But if it was to spawn on the top one here, you see there's a block in the way of its head, which is why we normally knock out an extra row above for its head and body to fit in. So now all you have to do is knock out the lights and this guy will start working. So that's pretty easy. You can see the spawning here is going to be pretty slow. And as we previously saw, we have to be within a 16 block radius for the mobs to spawn, or else they just go to sleep. Like they just freeze in midair. So this spawner will try and spawn between, I think, 1 and 4 mobs somewhere in the spawnable area that we earlier discussed, every 10 to 40 seconds and before trying it again. I just grabbed that off the wiki. But if within the spawn area, there is, I think, 6, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's 6 here. If there's already 6 of the same mob within the spawn area, when the next cycle goes off, it'll give the little puff animation, but nothing will actually come out. So as a general rule, you want to move these guys out of the spawnable area as soon as possible to make space for others. Now, there's various ways you can do that. If it was vanilla, you're probably used to seeing like a bit of a water stream that pushes them towards the front or something, and then they get taken up a bubble elevator or just somehow pushed out of the way and put somewhere in a kill chamber for the player. In modded, though, we have some more useful tools like belts and fans, which aren't too complicated to make. All right, so let's craft up some of these. This fan here, I suspect, is actually just an ingredient in something. I don't think we can place that one down, like try and place it in the world. Okay, that's that little ninja star thing there is not the kind of fan we need. So leaving fans aside for the time being, let's craft up, we need leather. Okay, these conveyor belts, I've never used them before. Oh, it also works on me, which is kind of tricky. But you can kneel, crawl. You can crawl on it and you're fine. So we'll cover the whole surface area with these guys. And then if we can escape without dying, oh, just get out of it. If we can get out of here without dying, let's just chill out here for a little bit and see what happens. But I would have assumed that they'd still spawn there. Oh, there we go. Worked fine. So with this method, you'd have them funnel into this area, drop them down a chute to be killed on something like probably the spikes. The spikes here are really cool. So you have all these different levels of spikes: stone, iron, gold, and diamond. The stone one just kills them. The iron one has them drop items. The gold one also drops XP, or maybe just XP, I don't know. And the diamond spikes drops all of them and player-only items, I think, like heads or something. But actually, I want to try these spikes out, so I'm going to have to put these back. Ugh. So now anything or anyone that falls into this area will just get pushed into that drop chute there. So if we were to now put some spikes down there for them to land on, we'll chuck one of them down there. I really don't want to get hit by that. I should probably do this the safe way. Cover that up for the time being. And we'll knock that one out. And now what we should see is when they fall down there and land on those spikes, it'll act as if the player killed them, and we'll get the XP and items. And let's see if we can get this to output to a chest with a hopper. And now when they spawn in, they should die on the spikes and also drop off items into that chest there. While they die off, we'll go check on these onions. So this looks like it's possibly backed up, but can't output anymore. Cow population is going a bit nuts. Oh, we're full up here. That's awesome. And the onions are increasing again. Oh, thank God. I'm glad that worked. Whoa. All of a sudden, I don't feel too safe. But yeah, this vanilla setup should work pretty well for all the spawners, as long as you're within 16 blocks. And you can even get a bit cheeky with it by adding multiple spawners in there. Although, of course, spider spawners are notoriously difficult to work with. So let's swap out that spider one for a creeper and see how that goes. And then quickly get the hell out of there. And there you go. You got yourself a working mob farm now. Now all we need is a way to turn this thing off. We can just set up some redstone lamps down there. I think we're safe. Let's go check out what the yield was. For sure we got some zombie villagers spawning in there. So if we were to now get rid of these more dangerous ones for the time being. I don't know where to put it where it's not going to blow up. I don't want it anywhere near me. Look, I think it's fine. I don't want to take any chances though. Let's get rid of all the regular mobs. And we'll put the zombie villagers in there. Let them spawn in. There you go. Zombie villagers, I think... Jeez. I think the zombie villagers are deliberately nerfed. Look at this, they're spawning in a really weird radius. So I think what we need to do is actually move it out of there. Like, let's put it there. Assuming that it can't spawn anywhere here because it's not dark enough. So I'm hoping they'll spawn inside the dark box for us. Oh, I can hear them. They're angry. Or something. Yep, that's a zombie villager dying. So I think in order to try and nerf it or to avoid people making farms like this, maybe, the distance on this guy is much bigger. But that's cool. Just put it somewhere a bit further away and they'll still try and spawn in the dark areas. I'll set like a 5-minute timer and we'll come back and see what they've dropped for us. Okay, well that was more like half an hour. Let's check out the results. Sadly, it looks like they don't have much variety of armor. It's just the boots with feather falling 4 and the chest plates with feather falling 4. Yeah, so there's probably... Why am I wearing a leather hat? There's probably not a great reason to set this kind of farm up. The zombie villagers, we can probably spare them from this kind of life. Although they did drop a bunch of really cool looking hats. Nah, I think we're good. So that is, of course, one option. And we'll worry about collecting XP later on. We never tested out that fan, did we? Okay, so the fan seems to work pretty similar to the conveyor belts. And it's got a range of like 8. So it would be possible just to set up a few of these fans, you know, along the back wall and maybe tucked into the corners here, but we'll stick with the conveyor belts. I think they're kind of cool. I think probably what we're going to want to do is, I think probably what we're going to want to do is to just get a start on Conjuring now. And I'm not sure we're going to have the time, so we might have to leave Cursed It until next episode. All right, to start off with, you need a healthy supply of netherite scraps and Conjuring essence. First piece of equipment one shall create is the forge, the soulfire forge, required to form the elementary soul composite. Moving forward, construction of the conjurer, blah, blah, blah. You make the alloy with netherite scraps. We have all those things. We get a conjuring scepter, which is the... Okay, so conjuration essence you get just by destroying spawners. So from destroying a bunch, we've already got 39, which seems like a lot, and apparently that's renewable later on. So let's get crafting. And then a conjuration scepter. Oh, you make this in the forge. Oh. So that was like that, wasn't it? Okay, it seems like we need to feed the forge with soul fire. Perhaps like that. Maybe we need to try a flint and steel. Oh. And did it consume anything? No. All right, it would appear like the campfire is completely unnecessary. And all you need is a flint and steel. And later on we can automate that just with a dispenser. Next up, soul alloy. I wonder if we can just... Aha, we can. So let's get a bunch of these, which we can now... We can light that one up. So you can use that to upgrade your weapons, although sadly just vanilla weapons, like you can't upgrade an all-in-one tool. So now we want to make a conjurer, which is soul alloy around one of those conjuration essences. Like so. And we'll light that sucker up. It needs an inserted conjuring focus to function. And when one of these gizmos is inserted, the conjurer will begin the summoning process. While this is of course a very useful setup, even with the most basic state, many improvements can be made. Okay, but for today we'll just do the basic one. So we want to build a conjuring focus, which is gold, 4 more and one of these small guys. Oh, you just smash it against a rock. How do you work? Punch, right click. Oh, there we go. It's a shift click. Oh, I made too much. Now, the gem tinkering is to upgrade the kind of spawns you get. What we need to do is get one of these first. A Conjuring Focus. It employs their synergistic attributes to safely contain the inner construct of a certain soul type. When inserted, its true power will start to unfold and mobs will start to be conjured. Okay. One of you, please. So that was gold in the corners here. And you're going to light it. And that'll give us our focus. And then perhaps, I think we have to do a ritual of extraction to contain a soul within a focus, right? A process inherently unsafe without pedestals, only 1/10 of attempts is said to succeed. So while it says pedestals are optional, I think we go for the pedestals. Having 4 of these present and executing the ritual in a soul sand valley reportedly guarantees success. All right, so better than 1 in 10, we'll have 100%, or 1 in 1, or 10 in 10, or really any number on top of itself. So there's our Conjuring Focus. So these are the pedestals it suggests. Gilded and 2 polished stairs. And that'll be our 4. So you can cut a soul funnel out of one of these guys. Okay, I think we have everything we need to head down to the Soul Sand Valley and begin the ritual. Should probably... Oh, a slime! That was literally in my wanted list. Woohoo! Not sure you guys have seen these before, but it makes getting around much easier. I'm not sure we'll even need that dragon anymore. No, off we go to the Soul Sand Valley. Ah! Ah! Okay, I think I'm safe. I'll stand near these guys so no piglins attack me for not wearing any boots, for not wearing any gold. Soul Sand Valley. Soul Sand Valley. Whoa, the nearest Soul Sand Valley is incredibly far away. We're going to have to fly our way there and be really careful not to get ourselves killed, because I don't have any fire resistance on. Okay, I can't get distracted. One thing at a time. Let's just find this Soul Sand Valley. Ah! Are you real? You're not real. Just run, kmbles. Ooh, okay, I clearly wasn't ready for that. My God, you see how low my health got then? Did you guys see what I see? What is that hideous monstrosity? Whose idea was this? Ooh-wee. Okay, I think this might be the home stretch. Come on, Soul Sand Valley. Okay, I think we are basically there now. It's telling us to go into the lava, is it? Soul Sand Valley. No, that's Soul Lava Valley. What are you talking about? I don't see any soul sand. I see lava. What are you talking about? Leave it. Leave it. And by it, I mean me. Leave me. Oh, God. God. Ooh. Why? I didn't mean to double tap that time. Let's just do this. What the hell hit me? You again. God, I hate these guys. Those guys are literally the worst. Let's, I don't know. All right, how about we just build a nice little platform here? Okay, we have a coward's box here. Ooh, I think we might be safe here for the time being. Oh, why did I take so many chances? I'm just going to try and clear out this temple and maybe we can use it as a bit of a conjuring base. It's got to be said though, I really don't trust any of this. Like, would you really trust that chest in a temple? Come on, what do you take me for? TNT. I believe I can just hit it, right? Ooh-wee. Your boy's clenched. Okay, I'm now about as certain as can be that this will be safe. Don't hear any sizzling. Whoa! Vein of Arthropods 5. Okay. Some of that is pretty cool. I guess we've got to see where this thing takes us, right? I mean, I'm curious. Definitely very far out. Did this guy pick up my sword? I think some of these guys picked up my badass swords. Oh, do I risk it? They're really kind of in the way, aren't they? I think I've just got to have to get rid of these guys. Well, you shouldn't have stolen my sword then. Now, to be honest, I don't know how this works, but let's put down the soul funnel in the middle there. How did you get in? Did I leave a door unlocked or something? Doesn't matter, they seem to have forgiven me. Let's try that, and we'll put the pedestals on around the edges here. And then I think it said we link it with this guy. So link you. Oh. Shift right click. The pedestal is positioned incorrectly. Maybe it needs to be on this axis. There you go. So you put them on the four sides like that, and you link. Link established. Link established. Nice. And they're all doing a little particle dance. Yes, they are. To begin, one must place the soul funnel and fill it with both soul sand and conjuring focus. Yeah. And conjuring focus. As an optional step, 4 pedestals. We did that. Okay, so I want to put on these altars 4 things that the entity is known to drop. I mean, maybe we just try it out with these zombie piglins, yeah? So we do something like this. What else are they known to drop? They're known to drop gold and zombie flesh. You guys got to stop spawning in. Bit disappointed I'm not getting their heads, because that would be a really cool thing to add on here. So you go there. Once everything has been prepared, the entity shall be lured on the funnel. So I've got to bring... This will make it possible to commence the ritual by right-clicking the funnel with the scepter. So we'll get our scepter ready. We need to lure one of them in. All right, then let's let one of these guys out. And then like that. I right-clicked it. It's staying still. I think it's doing a thing. Oh, I'm so silly. You've got to put that guy on first. I forgot to put the focus on there. There we go. Oh my god. Oh my god. What just happened? I have zombified piglin in there. Ah. So if we were to just like... What if we use this guy instead? That did something. It doesn't take an egg. Conjuring focus. It's got the piglin in there. Well, there we go. We did it. Hey, guys. And then we just, take it out. All right, let's go try this in our setup back at the house. So if we put that there like that, and then put that in there. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, so there's going to have to be a part 2 to this one. In the next episode, we'll get to work upgrading our Conjurer. We'll get a few more mob types in there, and perhaps even wither skeletons. And we'll also try out spawning on cursed dirt. Oh, and we'll set up XP collection, because there's no point letting all that juicy stuff go to waste. All right, hope you enjoyed. See you next time.